Hi all. Today we will discuss some previous year questions from complex analysis. First question. If z equal to e raised to 1 plus 2i, then mode z is options e raised to 5, e raised to root 5 and root 5. So before going to the solution of this problem, we will discuss a result. Let z be the complex number x plus iy, then e raised to z is e raised to x plus iy. That is equal to e raised to x into e raised to iy, but e raised to iy is actually cos y plus I sin y, so this is equal to e raised to x into cos y plus I sin y. So mode e raised to z is square root of e raised to x cos y square plus e raised to x sin y square, that is equal to square root of e raised to x square into cos square y plus sin square y. So this is equal to e raised to x. So we can solve this problem by using this result. Here given that z equal to e raised to 1 plus 2i, then mode z is actually mode e raised to 1 plus 2i. So by this result, mode e raised to 1 plus 2i is actually e raised to 1. So this is equal to e. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. If the radius of convergence of the power series alpha in z raised to n is 2, then the radius of convergence of the series alpha n square z raised to n is, these are the options. So here we solve this problem by using this result. The result is, if the radius of convergence of the power series an z minus z naught raised to n is r, then the radius of convergence of the series an raised to k z minus z naught raised to n is r raised to k. So here k is 2 and z naught is 0. So we can solve this problem by using this result. Here given that the radius of convergence of the series alpha and z raised to n is 2. So by this result, the radius of convergence of the series alpha n square into z raised to n is 2 square, that is equal to 4. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. Let gamma be the circle mode z equal to 2. Then 1 by 2 pi I into integral over gamma e raised to z minus 1 divided by z minus 1 dz is options 0, e plus 1, e minus 1. So here we prove this, here we solve this problem by using the Cauchy integral formula. Suppose that f is analytic inside and on a simple closed positively oriented contour gamma, and a is an interior point of gamma, then f of a equal to 1 by 2 pi I into integral over gamma f of z by z minus a dz. So we solve this problem by using this Cauchy integral formula. Here gamma is the circle mode z equal to 2. That means here the circle mode z equal to 2 is actually a circle with the center 0 and the radius r, radius 2. So here a equal to 1 is an interior point of the circle, and also e raised to z minus 1, f of z equal to e raised to z minus 1 is analytic in the circle C. So we can apply this Cauchy integral formula here. So by this formula, 1 by 2 pi I into integral over gamma e raised to z minus 1 by z minus 1 dz is f of 1, that is equal to e raised to 1 minus 1, and which is equal to e minus 1. So here option D is the correct answer. Next question. The value of integral over c e raised to 2z by z minus 1 raised to 5 dz, where c is the circle mode z equal to 2 is. There are 4 options. Here we solve this problem by using the Cauchy integral formula for derivatives. That is, let f be analytic inside and on a simple closed positively oriented contour gamma, and a is an interior point of gamma, then the mth derivative of the function f at the point a is m factorial by 2 pi I into integral over gamma f of z by z minus a raised to m plus 1 dz. So here we use this Cauchy integral formula to solve this problem. Here we have f of z equal to e raised to 2z, which is an entire function. So clearly it is analytic on the circle mod z equal to 2. Here a equal to 1, which is an element of C. So also m plus 1 equal to 5 implies that m equal to 4. So by this Cauchy integral formula for derivatives, we have 4 factorial by 2 pi I into integral over gamma f of z by z minus a raised to m plus 1 dz is actually fourth derivative of the function f at the point A. Here from this question we have f of z equal to e raised to 2z. So its first derivative is 2 e raised to 2z and the second derivative is 4 e raised to 2z. The third derivative is 8 e raised to 2z and the fourth derivative is 16 e raised to 2z. So here the fourth derivative of this function at the point A is actually 16 e square. So from this we get integral over c e raised to 2z by z minus 1 raised to 5 is equal to 2 pi I into 16 e square by 4 factorial. By simplification we get this is equal to 4 pi by 3 I e square. So here option A is the correct answer. Next question. Let f from C to C be defined by f of z equal to 1 minus e raised to minus z by z for z and C. For this function, the point z equal to 0 is options. First one, an essential singularity. Second one, a pole of order 0. Third one, a pole of order 1. And fourth one, a removable singularity. So before going to the solution of this problem, we have to recall the definitions of singular points and different types of singularities. So singularities of a complex function. Let f be a complex function defined in a domain D. A point z equal to z0 in C is said to be a singular point of f if either f is not defined at the point z0 or it is not analytic at the point z0. So this is the definitions for singularities of a complex function. Mainly there are two types of singularities, isolated and non-isolated singularities. First one, isolated singularities. A point z0 in C is said to be an isolated singularity of a complex function f if f is analytic in a punctual disk 0 less than mod z minus z0 less than del for some delta greater than 0. And which is not analytic at z equal to z0 itself. So this is the definition for isolated singularities. So mainly there are three types of isolated singularities. They are, first one, removable singularity. So here an isolated singularity z0 in C of a complex function f is said to be a removable singularity if limit z tends to z0 f of z exists finitely. For example, consider the function f of z equal to sin z by z. Clearly z equal to 0 is a singular point of f since here the function f of z equal to sin z by z is not analytic at the point z equal to 0. So clearly we can say that z equal to 0 is a singular point of the given function. Now limit z tends to 0 f of z equal to limit z tends to 0 sin z by z. This is actually in the 0 by 0 form. So which can be written as limit z tends to 0 cos z. That is here actually we are differentiating the denominator and the numerator separately. So we get which is equal to limit z tends to 0 cos z, that is equal to 1 which is finite. So here we can say that limit z tends to 0 f of z exists finitely. So here z equal to 0 is a removable singularity of the given function sin z by z. So we can redefine this function as g of z equal to f of z if z not equal to 0 and 1 if z equal to 0, now which is an analytic function. Next one, pole. An isolated singularity z naught in C of a complex function f is a pole if limit z tends to z naught f of z equal to infinity. Or in other words, an isolated singularity z naught in C of a complex function f is a pole of f if limit z tends to z naught, z minus z naught raised to m into f of z exists finitely for some m in n, and the least value of such m is called the order of the pole z equal to z naught. For example, consider the function f of z equal to 1 by z, then clearly this function is not analytic at the point z equal to 0. So we can say that z equal to 0 is a singular point of the function f of z. So limit z tends to 0, z minus 0 raised to 1 into 1 by z is 1. So by the definition of the pole, we can say that z equal to 0 is a pole of order 1 since this limit exists finitely. So here z equal to 0 is a pole of order 1. Next one, essential singularity. An isolated singularity z naught in C of a complex function f is an essential singularity of f if limit z tends to z naught f of z does not exist. This is the definition for essential singularity. So these are the three types of isolated singularities. Now the second type of singularity is the non-isolated essential singularity. Let f be analytic in a domain D except at some points in D. Suppose that f has poles, then the limit point of the poles if they exist are non-isolated essential singularity of f if it is a singularity. So this is the definition for non-isolated essential singularity. Now look at an example. F of z equal to tan z, then clearly the zeros of tan z are z equal to n pi and the poles of tan z are z equal to 2n plus 1 pi by 2, right? So here we have z equal to n pi tends to infinity as n tends to infinity. So limit points of 0 is actually z equal to infinity. Similarly, the limit points of the poles is also z equal to infinity. So by the definition of the non-isolated essential singularity, here we can say that z equal to infinity is a non-isolated essential singularity of the function f of z equal to tan z. So these are the different types of singularities. Now let us solve the problem. This is the question. So here clearly the function f of z equal to 1 minus e raised to minus z divided by z is not analytic at the point z equal to 0, right? So here z equal to 0 is a singular point of the function f of z. Then clearly limit z tends to z naught f of z is actually limit z tends to 0, 1 minus e raised to minus z by z, which is in the 0 by 0 form. So which is in the 0 by 0 form. So here we can write it as limit z tends to 0 minus e raised to minus z into minus 1 divided by 1. That is, here we are differentiating the numerator and the denominator separately. So then we get like this. So this is equal to limit z tends to 0 e raised to minus z by 1, that is equal to limit z tends to 0 1 by e raised to z, that is 1 by 1, which is equal to 1. So here limit z tends to z naught f of z equal to 1, which so this exists finitely. So we can say that z equal to 0 is a removable singularity of the function f of z equal to 1 minus e raised to minus z by z. So here option D is the correct answer.